Now I know what some of you are thinking, but this is not a negative video aimed at Ncuti Gatwa or Russell T Davies. I thought it would be good to highlight a key theme of Ncuti's era, which will carry over to this year's Christmas special and beyond, probably. That's failure. Before we begin, if you're new, hit subscribe, turn the bell on and leave a like. So, failure. Yeah, it's a word I really hate. So many negative connotations from it. It reminds me of the bullshit from high school, failed friendships and relationships. What occurred to me the other day was a quote from the great man himself.
The greatest teacher failure is.
That is one of the great lines in Star Wars, ironically from The Last Jedi, which in 2017 garnered pretty mixed reception at best. People are slowly warming to it, which is good. I still can't bring myself to do so though. With Doctor Who Series 14, or Season 1, whatever Disney, one of the biggest takeaways for me was the 15th Doctor's characterization. He's a very emotional man. So much crying. Therefore, so many critics needed to criticise this. But for me, it's simple. This is a different Doctor who is letting go of the fallout of previous eras. He doesn't just keep it to himself. He doesn't want the baggage. He's very open. He wants to right all the wrongs of the past. In Space Babies, for example, he pretty much sums up the trauma his previous selves have been through. It was very fan-wanky for me and Evangeline, but I suppose this was a demonstration of the Doctor's personality. This is someone who had failed to save previous companions from death, save Gallifrey, and stop the Flux, because apparently the Flux really caused a lot of damage to the universe. And there I am, still shrugging my shoulders at the weak-ass ending of that series. Anyway, the conclusion of Space Babies shows us that despite being probably billions of years old at this point, Christ knows the Doctor's actual age, he's still learning from failures, even now. He was going to kill the bogey monster before he realised it was just a harmless bunch of bogies, and he changes his mind. Another thing I noticed is in previous eras he never really mingled with the families of companions until much later. But here he embraces the idea immediately. One of the moments which deserves such praise in the series is his failure to save the space racist at the end of Dot and Bubble. This is a tricky one here. The Doctor does not fail because he is in the wrong. It's simply because Lindy was completely in the wrong about literally everything. If there was anything he could learn from this, I guess it was just to stay the hell away from that planet, because she, along with some other idiots, refused to listen to his pleas. Now, Empire of Death was a blow for the Doctor, not because the ending was weak as shit or anything, but because in the middle act, the realisation that Sutekh had been clinging onto the TARDIS sometime after Pyramids of Mars meant that every world the Doctor had ever visited ever since had gone to dust. He was broken in this scene. Critics are hating on this? Get the hell out of here. This is someone who has discovered that his favourite pastime of travelling through space and time has inadvertently caused the biggest disaster the universe has ever seen. Correct me if I'm wrong, this may have been the biggest death toll in all of the show, although Russell did his usual Deus Ex Machina ending when everyone comes back to life. The point is, in that moment, the Doctor could have just given up. As the rest of the episode shown though, his resilience to stop Sutekh showed the strength in this incarnation's character. I only ask, why oh why did they delete this scene? If the episode was resolved with the defeat of Sutekh and the universe was saved, I would be more forgiving. However, one other failure of the Doctor's was how it took an entire series to identify Ruby's mum, only for Unit to be like, oh yeah, she's here. I'll let him off though, because I blame the strange writing decision by RTD. With the Doctor now going solo for Joy to the World, it will be interesting to see how this incarnation copes after Ruby has left. The part of the trailer which left the biggest impression of me is how he criticises himself for the life choices he makes. I like that this Doctor is self-aware and is constantly learning from his mistakes. Whether this makes or breaks Joy to the World is up for debate. The past failures and traumas of this character can really help this version of the Doctor develop further. It may not be the intention of RTD, and some may think I'm missing the point here. At this moment, this is how I interpret the 15th Doctor. The emotional moments from this Doctor, whether he's happy or sad, make him a breath of fresh air. While I've had a few misgivings about the narrative direction of the show, Ncuti's charisma in the role makes him one of the most unique incarnations to date, and I think that's bloody brilliant.